Press-on nails. I went to Walmart in the morning because there is less people and I'd be less prone to embarrass myself, but I got some food and a pack of Powerade and I went to the self-checkout and the Powerade wouldn't scan and I was pressing the scan gun like 10 times and the person who watches the self-checkout was staring at me and I started to get nervous, so I tried taking a bottle slightly out of its case to see if it would scan. But I accidentally opened the lid and almost spilled it out, but luckily I managed to close it. But when I turned the bottle to have the barcode face me, my press-on nail decided to leave me and the force from grabbing the bottle turned my nail into a projectile and it flew and hit the lady who was watching me in the face, and she looked at me with an angry look and I apologized and I bowed because that's what I am used to, but I realized people here don't really do that, so I felt even more embarrassed and I picked up my nail and bagged my stuff quickly and left. I never felt such betrayal by a nail before.
Careful where you go. I was at a friend's house and these two guys, Shane and Joe, told a funny story that happened to a friend while they were out hunting. They were out in the country in the early morning before dawn, nipping on the bottle and running the truck so they could stay warm. Their buddy Jeff had to get out so he could take a number 2. He walked away from the truck looking for a spot and finally went behind some trees. When Jeff finally found his place and squatted down, he had no idea that his back was exposed in the truck headlights. Jeff had to take his coveralls all the way down and the guys could see that the hood was directly under his ass, and in the beam of the truck lights his buddy saw him drop one right into the hood of his coveralls. Jeff zipped up quickly, including his hood, because it was cold outside, and went back to the truck. When he got back, the guys were laughing so hard it took them a few minutes to get control of it, and Jeff had to wait to find out what was so funny. Jeff had to get out of the truck and clean off while the guys roared with laughter, and I guess it is just one of those things you will never live down.
213. The Sun Alto Rises. In elementary school, every single student in our district had to participate in the school chorus, regardless of talent or desire, and I still cannot wrap my head around why that was the case. Shouldn't we have spent that time learning more about math, technology, finance, or anything that is applicable to human life? Our music teacher was a force not to be trifled with, so maybe she forte-armed that policy through? No matter the reason, we all begrudgingly sang at this woman twice a week for 2 years while she acted out her loony fantasy of conducting the most hapless group of scholastic musicians this side of Gallaudet University. Since we were all prepubescent, she separated us into only altos and sopranos, an effective method of making every male feel inadequate from a young age. In order to divide us into these demeaning groups, she forced each of us to stand in front of the class, one at a time, and sing the national anthem, a chilling prospect at any age, and would then loudly categorize us like a malevolent sorting hat. In 4th grade, Joey and I both happened to perform, sing quietly and poorly, before Dane did, and were placed in the altos. Not wanting to be stranded with Danny and the other soprano fairies, Dane loaded the dice by blatantly singing as low as his 9-year-old vocal cords would allow. Our teacher immediately recognized that he was up to something and scolded him. "Sing with your natural voice. Let's do it again." Dane wasn't giving up the ghost that easily. In a voice like that of James Earl Jones, he replied, "Okay," and proceeded to sing it again in the exact same manner. I think at that point, the teacher understood that it would not make any difference where she stuck him. Dane was not going to be the one to bring glory to her doomed and detached choir. She gave up and dismissed him to his coveted altos, where he spent that year belting show tunes with Joey and me, while Danny warbled the high parts on the other side of the room by himself. Danny quip, fairy or not, I still sounded better than the former lead singer from the band Thundercloud Kid. In fact, I'm the lead singer of the premier Thundercloud Kid cover band, Raincloud Boy.
Learning to count. My son-in-law was in the U.S. Marines and was stationed overseas for a year. Since it was not a full hitch, his family, my daughter, Annie, and 3 grandchildren 8, 6 and 2.5, could not go with him. So my daughter and 3 grands moved in with my husband and me. One afternoon we were sitting at the kitchen table. I was in the corner and Annie was seated so she could see down the hall. The 2.5-year-old was toddling down the hall with her mother's pills. Annie said, "Bring to mommy." "No, bring to mommy." "No," Annie then says, 1, 2, and toddler says, 3, 4. I almost split to keep from laughing out loud and Annie could barely keep a straight face. P.S. They were with us for 14 months. When they moved out, I missed them but I enjoyed missing them. LOL.